Now, before COVID-19, I was doing a jam night, in fact it's nearly a year ago now, and a sax player came up and wanted to play in a Sentimental Mood, which is a famous jazz standard from Duke Ellington. And the guitarist who was up at the time, I said, "Oh, stay up for this one." And he went, "Oh, it's jazz, I can't do it." Well, the power of the pentatonic is a module that my daughter is doing for her online schoolwork at the moment. And I thought, well, yes, it is powerful. And actually, most jazz standards, you can play with a few pentatonics. You don't need all of these extra extensions and all of this stuff to go with it. And actually, it makes you play a bit more in terms of phrasing and dynamics and all of that stuff, which is really important. Now, in a Sentimental Mood, if I've got my little backing track here, it's in 2 keys, which is, usual for a jazz standard. It'll go somewhere else and then come back. It's in D minor. And there's my minor pentatonic on D, which is 10th fret here. In the middle, it goes to D flat major. Every major key has got a relative minor. D flat is here. The relative minor is always 3 frets down from the major. So I can play a B flat minor pentatonic. So I've got the two shapes. They're exactly the same shape. You just play them in different places. Now I'm going to play the backing track and then do a solo which only uses the minor pentatonic, well, actually the blues scale, if you like, because it's got that extra note. It's a bit more stylistic. So if we go from the beginning, you can hear that I can basically use this to solo with. Now, if I use a few more extensions here, but there's more going on there. Does it make sense? Well, I don't know. Here comes the middle section, so we're going to go to 6th fret here. Now I'll try a few extra things according to the chords. Now we're back to where we were. And you can move between these positions. So if you've got the minor pentatonic at 10th fret, for example, you can also play at 5th fret, starting on the 5th string, for slightly different tone. But what happens here is that you can add extra notes within that pentatonic, and a lot of this depends on just sitting with it and just working out which notes work. Now, the theory can be, you can just detail it in a book. You can write this is this, this, and this is this. But actually, as I said, really phrasing is really important. Now, if we pick another standard, for example, I don't know, Autumn Leaves, that is in 1 key. So it doesn't modulate like that previous one. Now, this is in G minor. I've got this as a sort of faster gypsy jazz sort of thing. So it's in G minor. So you just play at 3rd fret. So armed with a pentatonic, you can do lots of this stuff, and it doesn't need all of this sort of twizzling about sort of semitonal explorations. You can actually do it with a minor pentatonic. So I'm going to play over this, and I'm going to use the pentatonic first, and then I can use a few extra things as well, and you can hear the sort of difference between the two. But one thing you will notice, hopefully, is that the minor pentatonic one is actually a little bit more expressive. Let's see what happens with this. That's just the blues scale. But does it really make much of a difference in terms of how it sounds to the listener? Well, I'm not sure it does. Of course, you can learn all the theory to the nth degree, but does it really make a massive difference? Because you can just play, imagine B.B. King playing over this. I think that's a good analogy, actually, because expression was what he was all about, and the performance, that sense of engagement with the audience, and that's really important. I'll just change the pickup, and I had the minor pentatonic and of course the B.B. King vibrato, which I can't do, but I'd had a go. Things like that are really important because you can't do vibrato on a piano. You can't do, it's all about having those sort of extra microtonal shifts that really make a massive difference. So scales, modes, of course, you can learn all of those, and they're really useful. And I wouldn't dissuade people from doing that. But actually, the power of the pentatonic, that module that my daughter's doing at school at the moment, made me think a bit.